Are you suspicious that there's more to your chronic pain than you're being led on to believe? Are you curious if your nutrition, especially things like sugar and carbohydrates, could be contributing to your chronic pain? If so, you're in the right place. Because in this video, I'm going to talk about a lesser talked about topic of advanced glycation end products, what they are, and all the ways that they contribute to chronic pain. And by the end, you're going to have a better understanding of all the contributing factors to your chronic pain and how to treat them yourself. If you're suffering from chronic pain, I am fairly certain you know all about the various medications that are available to you. But do you know about advanced glycation end products and how they might be contributing to your chronic pain? If you're consuming a lot of sugar, carbohydrates, or have insulin resistance, topics we covered in the last 2 weeks, then you're naturally just going to have more glucose floating around your bloodstream, and we don't want it there. It is always going to cause damage. And one of the ways is through advanced glycation end products, or AGEs. AGEs form when all that extra sugar or glucose binds to proteins. And this is a non-enzymatic reaction, meaning your body doesn't control it. It just happens. And when it happens, it's permanent. Your body can't break them down. Over time, these AGEs keep accumulating, and they love to accumulate in neuromuscular tissue, typically where chronic pain sufferers are experiencing their pain. This is a drawing of a knee, my best drawing of a knee. AGEs love to accumulate in bones, in ligaments, in cartilage, in muscles, in tendons, and in nerves. Now, this is a big deal because when an advanced glycation end product forms, it changes the shape of that protein. And the function of a protein is directly related to the shape of that protein. So now that the shape is changed, that protein cannot do its job anymore. Proteins are responsible for the structure and all of the functions in your body. So take collagen, which provides flexibility and strength to tendons, ligaments, intervertebral discs. Now they become brittle and stiff. Or enzymes that help repair tissues and clear inflammation stop working. And the receptors responsible for cell-to-cell communication become inactive. So instead of adapting to stress, now your body starts breaking down under the pressure. Now, this is just one of the many ways that chronic pain conditions develop, not because of an injury, but because of the gradual loss of normal tissue function. If you're suffering from chronic pain, your inflammation is not random. It is actively being driven by various biochemical pathways. And one of those is advanced glycation end products. See my last video. Heavily expressed on sensory nerves and immune cells, the things that create pain and inflammation, are receptors called RAGE, mainly because they should be enraging you right now. And when an advanced glycation end product, or AGE, binds to that receptor, a whole mess of things happen. The very first thing that happens is this RAGE receptor increases nuclear factor kappa beta, which is your predominant chronic inflammatory pathway. Nuclear factor kappa beta crosses the cell membrane and into your cell's nucleus where all of the DNA is at. This then increases the transcription for genes like tumor necrosis factor alpha, interleukin 1 beta, interleukin 6, which all increase inflammation. At the same time, RAGE increases free radical production in the form of reactive oxygen species, which then go and damage the cell, which then increases inflammation even more. But here's the real kicker. When you activate RAGE, we create more RAGE receptors, which creates more free radicals, which damage more cells, which creates more inflammation. This is how inflammation becomes chronically persistent and dysregulated, not because your body just won't turn it off, but because the signal just keeps reinforcing itself. And this all starts with nutrition. Chronic pain is not just about tissue damage, you guys. It is about how your spinal cord processes incoming information. Because all day long, what's going on inside of your body and around your body, everything is competing for the attention of your brain. But if your brain had to listen to all of that, it would get overwhelmed really quickly. So, one of the main jobs of your spinal cord is not just to allow information through, it's actually to filter out the less important information to not overwhelm your brain so that it can focus on the more important stuff. In advanced glycation end products, see my last two videos, is involved in this process. In your spinal cord are receptors called the NMDA receptors, and these are really important pain receptors. They act as a gate, controlling how much pain signal gets through and how much does not. When advanced glycation end products from your diet, from unchecked insulin resistance, see the last 2 weeks of videos, bind to this NMDA receptor, it opens the gates, allowing more and more excitatory pain signals through into your brain. This whole process is called central sensitization or the gate control theory of pain. Your body is not creating more pain signals. Your spinal cord is just letting more of them through to your brain, amplifying your chronic pain. I cannot stress this enough. Nerves do not fire for no reason. There is always a reason, and most of the time it is very treatable even without surgery. But boy, does it enrage me every time someone comes in because their last doctor told them their pain is due to a hyperexcitable, overactive nerve. But why? Well, one of the reasons is advanced glycation end products. See my last three videos. This is really important stuff. The first way that ages create hyperexcitable nerves is by damaging your myelin sheath. Your nerves are surrounded by a protective insulating coating in the form of myelin. It's a fatty substance, and it's just like the insulation surrounding the wires in your walls. When ages damage that myelin sheath, it's like removing the insulation around the wires in your wall. It's going to create a fire. Now, the fire this time is in the form of a hyperexcitable nerve that creates pain. Next, ages disrupt your blood-brain barrier. This is the ultra filter that decides what gets into your brain and what doesn't. If ages damage that blood-brain barrier, we are not getting oxygen and nutrients to your brain. Those neurons are now going to scream out and help. And because they can't tell you, hey, my blood-brain barrier is damaged and I don't have oxygen, it does so in the form of pain. Pain is the way your brain is trying to tell you that something is wrong. But instead of looking at the integrity of the blood-brain barrier, we jump right to symptom suppression with medications. But of course, it doesn't stop here. Advanced glycation end products increase the expression of the TRPV1 receptors on your nerves, which are responsible for detecting heat and inflammation. When we upregulate these receptors, we increase the amount of calcium in the nerve, which causes the nerve to fire whether we want it to or not, which then increases the amount of substance P, which amplifies the pain signal. So now your nerves are just more sensitive to all stimuli, whether they should be causing pain or not. This is just how a nervous system becomes hyperexcitable. It's not random, and it all begins with your diet. So there you have it. That is advanced glycation end products in a nutshell, which just goes to show that sometimes the things you've never known about are actually the most damaging to your chronic pain.